Welcome to Before the Lights, episode number 3. I'm Jake Berry, all by myself. Tony Farina has left me all by myself. He's at a board meeting, and so I'll be doing the show. So about this time, you probably want to click off, go somewhere else, maybe make a sandwich. But we're going to be talking about some big games today. We've got some major games coming up along the way, but if you can tell right now, we're at UFC Gym in McAllen, just south of Nolana on McCall. And if you're watching this, it's probably going to be a little bit later today. This is Area 956. If you haven't liked this page, like the page, come back, see all the things that are on here. You know, you'll see different memes and Barbie doll, Mexican Barbie dolls, really cool ones actually. I'm gonna get it for my kids. But there's some good stuff on this page. So if you haven't liked Area 956, like this page, come back, see what they have daily. But let's talk about this week's games. But we'll do a recap of what happened last week. And there's some big games that happened last week. And let me pull that up for you real quick. And if technology would help me out, this would be a lot easier.
We're having technical issues.
We're having technical issues all over tonight. But last week I was lucky enough to be at McAllen's, work all the McAllen games. I got to see Mac High play. They moved to 2-0. Rowe moved to 2-0. Memorial moved to 2-0. But it was the way they did it. Last week, McAllen Memorial, who usually plays Sherryland very tough, went to Sherryland and decimated the Rattlers, and the score over there was 51-10, which is not typical of those matchups. Going across the valley, Hannah played Edinburgh Vela extremely tough, losing by 1 point to the Sabercats, and that was a huge game. Going across the valley, Edinburgh, it took them a last few minutes of the game possession to actually beat Rivetta. Rivetta is one of those teams that has been playing very tough. They played Brownsville Vets very tough. They played enough to win. Played good enough to win against Edinburgh High. They lost 28-21. Edinburgh had to hit they had to score late in that game. Going across the board, Mercedes loses a row by 3. It was a little bit stretched out more than that, but it was 25-28. And we're going across the valley, and Rio Grande City moves to 2-0. They beat Palmview 43-36. So some big games across the valley. And Edinburgh North losing to McAllen. It was a 29-13 game. Mac High looking good. They're going to play Harlingen South tomorrow. PSJA North, very impressive game for Coach Kaufman and the North Raiders. They go in and at home and they beat Harlingen South 35-16, which isn't one of those games that you typically see. Isaiah Ronquel played extremely well for the Raiders, throwing the ball. They had a great running game. You could drive a truck through some of the lanes that they created, and it was a very impressive game. And we're going to look at some big games across the valley today, and no more is apparent that San Benito and PSJA would be our first game that we'll talk about. I'd like to thank the guys from Area 956 for putting these stats in front of me. If I didn't have these stats, I would sound more stupid. But let's look at this. San Benito comes into this game 1-1. They're playing PSJA 1-1. San Benito losing last week, or they lost the first week, won last week. PSJA did the same thing, losing to Flower Bluff, winning last week, and they're going to face off. If you look at the points for San Benito, has scored 51 points. They've allowed 31 points, while PSJA 58 and 47. So very similar on the points given and points earned. But their last opponent, San Benito, went to Victoria West and beat the Tar out of Victoria West. PSJA beat Corpus Christi King. So 2 outside the valley teams. So it's an impressive win for those guys. You know, you look at that, they've got key players, Smiley Silva for San Benito. Justin Morales is the new quarterback at PSJA. He'll be trying to beat the Greyhounds. This should be a battle. And what I like right now is that last game stat. Smiley Silva threw for 130 yards passing, 2 TDs, 156 yards rushing, and 1 TD on the ground. So you look at that, that's very impressive. We'll see what they do this week. But for PSJA, Justin Morales, 3 passing touchdowns. So he's starting to look more and more like Trey Guajardo. I know that's one of those things that he probably hates hearing, but he passed for 436 passing yards, and he also had 1 rushing TD. So an impressive game for him. I think what it's going to come down to, and Tony's not here to do picks with me, and he would hate me to pick against the Bears, but I'm going to pick San Benito. He picked against San Benito, I think, last week, and lost that one. I went with the Greyhounds. They won. So I'm going to keep riding that pony or that Greyhound, and we're going to take them this week. So I like San Benito to beat PSJA. On the road, by the way. Mission High. This is the best game of the night for me as far as the best 1-1 team, which is Pioneer. Mission is going to play at Pioneer, and it should be one of the best games of the night, probably the second best game. I'm going to go with Pioneer in this game for one reason. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm lying about that. I'm not going with Pioneer, but I'll give you the pick in just a minute. Mission comes in 2-0, Pioneer 1-1. The Mission just played down in North. Pioneer played Juarez Lincoln. So they're coming into games that they should have won, and they did win convincingly. Jeremy Duran is the key player for Mission, and Horacio Moronta, the running back, tremendous players. Duran has passed already for, or passed last year for 1,475 passing yards, 14 passing TDs. Moronta, 1,139 yards rushing last year, 9 rushing TDs. And they're going to be going against Eddie Lee Marburger, who split time last year with Jacob Rosales, and he threw for 1,000 passing yards, 9 passing TDs. He's having a tremendous year right now. He played Harlingen very tough the first week in a barn burner. They lost that game. And they're going to go against Mission High. And this is one of those games where you look at Pioneer, they're 1-1. But they're not 1-1 as far as their quality of talent. They should be right now 2-0, but they face Harlingen right away. They're going against a Mission squad. They're at home. I'm going to pick Pioneer in the upset. I know I probably am going to take a lot of heat for this one, but I think Pioneer has a good chance of beating Mission. If this was ever a game where Mission might be looking ahead, this is it. Remember, this is the week before the bye week. So for Mission, they're not going to play next week, so they're going to have to, they might overlook Pioneer. I'm going to go with Pioneer in this game to win. I like what Tommy Lee's team brings to the table. They've got some big receivers. I do think this is going to be a high-scoring game with not a lot of defense. I could be wrong, but Tony's not here to tell me that. So, but I'm going to go with Pioneer over Mission. Okay, next game. This is my game of the night. I think this is the best game of the night. I actually talked to one of the coaches at Vela. He thought they had a really good chance of beating McAllen Memorial. And the reason for that is they think that their defense will be able to get more stops than Memorial's defense. And I like both teams in this one. I think offensively they're very good. They're also defensively good in spots. McAllen Memorial has scored 93 points this year in 2 games. 50 points have been scored against them. Vela, on the other hand, has scored 79 points, and they've given up 73. They've had some close games. This is not a typical Vela team. I like Vela in this game, except for the fact that I think Campbell Spates is the best football player this year in the Valley outside of Victor Campos. I think that both of them are tremendous players, Victor Campos. And Victor Campos last week, almost beat McAllen Memorial single-handedly. He played a tremendous game. Vela will tell you that they had 3 picks that they dropped that would have went for 6. Nevertheless, they lost to Hannah. Or they beat Hannah, by 1 point. So it was a close game. Hannah lost to McAllen Memorial week 1 by 2 points. So you look at that, it could go either way. But I think Campbell Spates, he's rushed last year. He rushed for 1,832 yards rushing, 29 TDs. He didn't play extremely well until the 4th quarter last year against McAllen Memorial or against Edinburgh Vela at home. But I like what he brings to the table. But they also have a really good quarterback, probably the best quarterback they've had that can throw the ball deep with accuracy. It's been a while since they've had a quarterback like this. They also have they have running backs, they have wide receivers, they have a stingy defense. I like them in this game, but I like what Vela brings to the table. AJ Sotelo has 2,158 yards last year, 25 passing TDs. So he knows what he's doing when he's out there on the field. 25 TDs last year is huge. Last game stats, he had 295 yards passing and 1 TD. Let me give you Campbell Spates stats last week. He had 230 plus rushing yards and 4 rushing TDs. And this is where it comes down to the picks. I like what McAllen Memorial brings to the table in this game because I think they can chew up clock when needed. Vela will be, if Vela can score a lot initially, I think that'll put the pressure on McAllen Memorial, but I think this is a different McAllen Memorial team. This is that fourth year for Campbell Spates. I think this team has grown also with him. I think the team is better than what they have been in the past few years. I'm going to give the edge to McAllen Memorial. I think that they win this game by 6. Okay, so we'll start that spread right now. If you want, we can start taking bets in a few weeks. We can start doing that too. We'll figure that out at Area 956. But all these stats, by the way, have been given to me by Area 956. If you have not seen this show, remember to share it. Like this page, Area 956, and tell all your friends about it. Tell them about the bald-headed guy that doesn't know crap about football, but keep coming back and watching this. Eventually, Tony will be here, so we'll have 2 overweight people doing the picks, but it'll be really good. But Weslaco East and Hannah are also facing off. Weslaco East loses last week to Laredo Alexander. Hannah loses again, second time in a row, but they've only lost by 3 points total all season. 2 points to McAllen Memorial, one point to Vela. But they have arguably one of the best players in the Valley in Victor Campos. Victor Campos last week threw for 311 passing yards, 2 passing TDs, 79 yards rushing, and 2 TDs on the ground. That was against Vela. It wasn't against the Sisters of the Poor. That was against one of the best programs in the Valley in Vela. And, if you ask the Vela coaches, of course, they're going to tell you they almost had 3 picks against them, but they didn't. So, looking at it, Weslaco East has Ramsey Vasquez at running back. 130 yards rushing last week, 3 TDs against Alexander. A tremendous game. Weslaco East just fell to them. I think this game is a lot easier, even than what people are looking at. Weslaco East 1-1. They've actually scored less than they've given up this year. So they have 54 points that they've scored, 57 against them. So this isn't the typical Weslaco East team that is very stingy on defense, but it's early, and they played some stiff competition. Remember, Manor was their first week, and they won against Manor and or Manor. I'm not sure. I'm not from Texas originally, so I pronounce things correctly. So, they played Manor, depending on where you're from. And Brownsville, Hannah has scored 67 points, and they've given up 70 points. So it's a very even team. I don't want to pick against Mike Burgett and the Weslaco East Wildcats, but I'm going to go with Victor Campos in this game to get his first victory. I think it'll be a very tough game for him. I think this game poses more of a threat because Weslaco East doesn't necessarily go for those big plays like a lot of the other teams, which is Vela and Memorial do. So I think this is a grinded out game, so Victor Campos will have to take advantage of those moments more than he has against those other teams because he won't have as many possessions in this game. But I'm going to go with Victor Campos and the Hannah Eagles in this game. Not that I have a man crush on the kid, but he's really good. He's one of the best kids that I've seen in a while. But you look at this. I want to stress you that if you go to these games this weekend, I think these are going to be your most high-powered games in the early season. This is before district. Once district starts, it'll be a little bit different. I would like to give a shout out also to PSJA Southwest. If you haven't seen PSJA Southwest, 2-0. First time they've ever been 2-0 because usually they lose that first game. But this is the first time they've been 2-0 with a chance to go 3-0, which will set a record for PSJA Memorial. This will be the first time they've ever been 3-0. I mean, 3-0 is a big thing, especially in district. They'll be 2-0. They're playing PSJA Memorial, and I think that they'll win that game. But let's look here real quick at the schedule from across the valley. And I still messed up my screen on my iPad. There's some way to fix this, but I can't do it. But if you look at it, let me pull it up. PSJA Southwest is playing in the 5As, and I just want to bring this out. They have one of the stingiest secondaries in the valley. They have 3 picks, 1 fumble recovery in their secondary this year, and they're only getting better. And if you look at it, they're one of the teams to watch right now in 5A. And we'd like to know who you think is the best 5A. So come on and comment about this on Area 956. Come on and comment. Tell us who you think is the best 5A team, the best 6A team, the best 4, 3, 2, 1 taps. Let's find out who you think. I want to know what game you're going to also. Come on to Area 956. Tell us exactly what game you're going to, why you think that's the best game, and why we should have picked that game. Because we're not going to pick every game here. Actually, we won't be doing picks this week on 956 Sports because Tony left me hanging. So, but this is one of those moments where you guys can get on, come to Area 956. We'd like to find out. We'd like to comment back to you, tell you exactly why we chose these games and why you think we should have chose your game. But looking across the board, looking at 16-5A, we have a dead heat for the top spot. Laredo Figueroa, Mercedes, Mission Sharyland, and Mission Sharyland Pioneer, and Valley View are all at 1-1. So there's parity in the 5A ranks, and it should be a lot more competitive. So this week, let us know what games you're going to. We want to find out what games you like, what teams you like, and who you think your top 10 is. We'd actually like to know that. I think the guys at Area 956 would like to know that, so we can put a graphic up and showcase the fan top 10. So come on, tell us who your top 10 is. We'll compile it, we'll take a look at it, and we'll come up with our own based upon the fans' picks. So for everyone, are we good? So for everyone at Area 956 Sports, or 956, I can't even say it right. And for everyone at Area 956, I'm Jake Berry. You can follow me on Twitter at 956Jake. Farina isn't here, but you can follow him at 956Farina. You can come on to our Instagram for Area 956 on Instagram. You can go on Facebook. You can go on Twitter. Find us at Area 956. Come on, like the page. Tell us what you like. And also, we'd like to thank everybody at UFC Gym McAllen for letting us put this on here. I'm sorry you had to look at me for all this time, but this is the show for this week. When we come back, it'll be bigger, it'll be better. Tony will be here next week. And we appreciate you watching. And remember, comment on this. Tell us what games you like. Thanks.